Daughter said, "Mom, my room is haunted." Would I have believed that something like this would be possible? And no, not in a million years. As time went on, I was aware that this wasn't a ghost. I was aware, whether I liked it or not, that it was demonic. I mean, it just escalated and escalated to really nasty things. I pray you never see what I saw.
According to this creation myth, among the angels, one who was very smart, is called Lucifer, which means lux, it means light in Latin, which the one who carried light. He was so smart, he said, what's the point of me obeying God? I can't be God. So he was struck down by God and he became the demon. The one who rebelled became the devil and took his disciples. So he had the devil and his children, so to speak. A question I remember which has been raised by many atheists. Why doesn't God just put the devil in jail and throw away the key? It said, well, we have to be free to choose for God, etc. So, and then only at the end of the world, then God will create new heavens and then the devil will no longer act. But now he's free to act.
I would be defined as wealthy, and I live in a very nice house, and I'm well educated. My husband's a builder and an architect. My son is the captain on his football team, and my daughter, she told me for months that her room was haunted. And until one night when she was away and I went to sleep in that room and experienced it for myself, I did not believe her. The walls were thumping, not a little bit, but loudly. It would be like if on the other side of the wall someone punched it. I was scared.
There are three main stages of possessions, and the first would be an infestation. They may have sounds in their home, usually popping sounds. That's one of the most typical sounds that a demon starts with, to let you know, to let the victim know that it's there, is a popping sound. And then from there, they come under a further attack, which we call oppression.
It got noticeably worse, but coincidentally, we were going to move. It was a coincidence, and I thought, great, we're out of this haunted house, no big deal. And it started, but worse, in our new house. It was a lot more aggressive at that point. My daughter started saying, you know, I'm being hit. But until I got struck, it was hard to believe it had gone to that level, from popping to, you know, punching.
They may be waking up at 3 a.m. every morning. They may feel like there's something sitting on their chest. They can't breathe. They will feel entities around them. They know something is there when it goes into an oppression stage. They know something evil is there.
By that time, we were almost experiencing the same things. Like, we would have the same nightmares on the same night, where we would see women that were crucified on the wall, and they all had blood coming out of their mouth.
They know that things are going on around their house that don't make sense. They may have even been visited by spirits at this time.
As it progressed, we were able to see it. And my daughter and I saw it at the same time, and we were able to look at each other and say, did you see that? Did you see what that was? And we were able to describe it back and forth to each other. There was more than one in the house, and so they look different, they sound different, and they act different.
In the Bible, when Satan presents himself, he presents himself as a legion.
Biblically, there's legions of demons. Whatever a legion happens to be, literally thousands. And some of them have names, some of them don't.
There were three, one large demon in the house, and there were two smaller ones. And then as far as little ones that crawl around, there were, I don't even know how many of those. I know it sounds crazy, but they're cowardly. The big ones are not like as fearful. For instance, one night, it came into my bedroom, and I just don't know how to say this except that I couldn't move a muscle, and it got on my chest and pressed its face against my face. He had prominent cheekbones. He had a prominent jaw, and he looked rotted, and he kind of drooled when he snarled, or it was more of a growl. But it's not a growl like any other type of growl that you've heard. It's like, it reminds me of a cross between a purr and like a lion, is the best way I can describe it, but it doesn't sound human. It seemed real adamant that I know its name. And I don't know why it would do this and why it would want to tell me in this fashion, but it actually spelled it. I feel unsafe saying it, not for me, for you guys, because it seems like a dog whistle. But are you sure that you want me to? Well, it does. It seems to respond to its name in a form or fashion that it gets to come inspect you. And I don't know if you want to be inspected tonight at 2 or 3, but if you want to risk that, I'll gladly tell you.
I don't know if we need it.
She contacted a group that I belong to and sent in a petition for help for herself and for her daughter. She was begging for help when she contacted us. If she had not made the call when she did, asking for help, she would have been possessed within a matter of weeks. What I do as a spiritual warfare counselor, I'm an investigator. I gather evidence. A spiritual warfare counselor has initial contact with a victim and starts to build a case that can be presented to the church in case there's a need for exorcism. When the case presents to us, most of the time we require a psychological evaluation.
If someone is seeing ghosts or someone comes in and says they're possessed, they might have, a dissociative identity disorder, which is the new name for multiple personality disorder, or they could have schizophrenia.
Historically, the church has viewed people who were possessed, and now science has found out that they were epileptics. They had some kind of neurological symptoms. They had tangible medical conditions, but historically they were viewed as being demon-possessed.
A lot of people who are sexually abused have, or had serious sexual abuse, become dissociative identity disorder. And what happens is the personality splits and fractures into different aspects, dark aspects of themselves. And they try to get control of the person. So they're all vying for control. So you need to have a good clinical assessment initially before you go anywhere else.
We have found that if it is a purely psychological situation, the medication is going to work. If it is not psychological, the medication is going to have no effect and the activity will pick up. If I'm building a case as a spiritual warfare counselor and I feel like there's a possession or a near possession that has taken place with this victim, then I build this case to present to the Catholic Church.
She brought electronic equipment that records sounds that are in your house, and they've got several electronic voice sounds. And they were inspected by professionals, and it's apparently occurring in a range that a human voice can't make.
Karen, going out. You're showing nervous.
I think the most compelling piece that we picked up was the demon saying that this victim's husband should be burned. When we get something that is not in the range of normal language, when it is taken into one of the lower level frequencies, it becomes non-human. When I hear burn this person, that to me means that they're going to make an attempt on that person. They want them to burn in hell. Once we are able to build a case to present to the church, then it becomes the exorcist's job to go in for the deliverance.
Exorcism is referenced in the Bible, particularly Matthew 8, where Jesus casts out demons. Exorcism is the expelling out of evil or demonic forces from people who normally are not demon-possessed.
And in fact, it existed before the Catholic Church was even born. We have evidence of it in Mesopotamia, Egypt, ancient cultures.
There's exorcisms in Islam, in Hinduism. There's prayers for the expelling of demonic spirits in Buddhism. So it really is a cross-cultural religious phenomenon. Catholicism requires the services of a specially trained priest for exorcism.
They don't do exorcisms at the drop of a hat. In fact, they turn down more requests than they grant. This is mainly because right now in America, there are only 7 authorized exorcists within the Catholic Church. 2 years ago, there were 23. This business will eat you up and spit you out very fast. You're under a constant attack when you're working with people who are fighting demons, who have demon infestation.
was less than 2 weeks that I met a Monsignor who came and he did 6 exorcisms in the house.
After seeing her for the first time, his comment to me was, she looked like she belonged in a hospital. There was no life left in her. When we start these prayers of deliverance, you know, we're invoking God. We're asking God to intercede and to battle this demon for us.
The rituals consist in using oil, water, candle or light, putting hands on the person, and then praying.
They're emotional, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, people writhing on the floor.
Why me? Well, since I wasn't in any way, shape, or form religious, that left me an ability to go research, well, what's out there. But the more I researched, I think I kind of got into the occult. It was just like I kicked open a door a little bit. And then I have no belief whatsoever in any form of deity, and that kicked open the door a little bit more.
The priest will say Mass, and as part of that Mass, he will ask the victim certain questions. Do you rebuke? Do you renounce particular activities?
I admitted to Monsignor that I had done investigation into occult stuff. I don't know why that would be a final trigger, but just my admitting that I might have some culpability, it's like it removed a stronghold, or it removed whatever legal right he had to keep tormenting me. And I visually saw it leave. They run really fast. They run. It is unbelievable to witness.
She was willing to do whatever it took to save herself and her daughter and to keep the rest of her family from becoming infested by this demon.
They do still sometimes come back. I call them recons, and it's like it just came in to see if anything's different or if there are any more things that they can take advantage of, and there was nothing, and it had to go. I don't know how long that'll go on, possibly forever, because I think once maybe you're on their hit list, maybe you stay. I don't know where I go from here, except that I can tell you I'm not the same person.
There is the possibility the unknown could be real, and there is a small fraction of psychologists and psychiatrists that actually believe it.
Is it possible? Is it not? What does psychology, what does medicine have to say about it? It's been literally a history of tension between these two ideas. Personally, I'm more likely to think that it's a psychological prompt based on the fact that these people believe it.
There are many things we don't understand, even in terms of how our brain works. Science continues to evolve. We can only say things are this way according to the knowledge we have today.
I would assume everyone who's watching this doesn't believe, and I can't judge them at all for that, because I would have been just 6 months ago, you know, trying to talk myself out of saying this can't be happening. So I'm not here to convince anyone. What I'm here for is, if they're wrong and it happens to them, what if they don't survive it?